that you encounter on section 1 of the Larapinta Trail is the original Stuart Town cemetery. This little cemetery only has 5 people buried in it. It consists of 2 enclosures, and it dates back to the very earliest days of the settlement here in Alice Springs, when the town was known as Stuart Town, or Stuart, and it was actually only the telegraph station, the overland telegraph station, repeater station, that comprised the whole town. So all of the people buried in here either worked at the telegraph station when it was operational, or were stockmen from nearby pastoral stations. First part of section 1 of the Larapinta Trail actually follows the route of the old overland telegraph line, and you frequently encounter some of the old poles themselves, complete with some wire and insulators and everything still intact. I'm currently on top of Euro Ridge, and this is one of the most spectacular parts of section 1 of the Larapinta Trail. As I've walked out from town rather than Simpsons Gap, when you first get to the bottom of it, it might look a bit daunting, but the trail is really a lot less hard than one of the other sections climbing up one of the previous ridges over there. So I've really enjoyed this part of it so far. Now I'm just about, once I get down here, I'll just pan around. Nice picture of a shrub. So once I get down the other side of Euro Ridge, in about 5 minutes or so, it'll be time for lunch. Okay, this is lunchtime. It's about 1 o'clock. I'm at Wallaby Gap. I've been here for about 20 minutes. There's a nice little gas barbecue over there that I boiled the billy on, and so I'm having a nice cup of coffee. There is a water tank here, so you can get water here quite easily. There's a couple of picnic tables, or tables to roll your sleeping gear out on if you're hiking through or you're going to stay here. There's even a toilet here. Isn't that wonderful? I think last time I was here there wasn't a toilet. And if you get out here and you decide you've had enough, you can walk back to Larapinta Drive, which is just over there, and get a lift back into town. So we've just passed the turn off to Fairy Pool. I'm looking at it right now, the camera's pointing at it. After Wallaby Gap, the track winds around for about another 4 kilometres. It's going through, following the ridge line. Actually winds through a few low hills. It's a fairly easy walk. So I've made pretty good time. It's only been an hour and I've gained about another 4 kilometres, 5 kilometres. So I'm about to walk up on the last 5 kilometres of the track, and we're going to go up through that ridge there. It's probably the biggest climb, but it's also some of the most spectacular scenery. Hey, I've just wandered along the ridge through the lovely mulga forest over there, and it's a really good part of the day to be doing it because you're in shade after a bit of a warm climb up from the plains. Over in the distance there, that's looking back towards Alice Springs. That mountain that you can see is Mount Gillen. That's the puppy dog's nose in Aranda mythology. That's Aboriginal mythology. Okay, so coming around here, got this hill here which is often called Hat Hill. So it does look like a bit of a hat from a distance. And down here, this rather spectacular formation is Simpsons Gap, and that's where the walk ends. So let's do the last kilometre and a bit. So here we are at the end of the walk, and we've arrived at Simpsons Gap. It's taken me about 5.5 hours all up.